see you, man. You know, the last time we spoke, actually, you wouldn't remember this, but it was 8 years ago for the
Woo!
website, which is, I was looking because I know I had interviewed you before, and I mean, I
Time
just can't
flies.
believe I've been doing this for more than 8 years, which is
Yeah.
already crazy.
Mhm.
Well, how have you been, man? How's everything going?
Everything's going good, just very busy as per usual and but everything's going really good for Queensrÿche.
Yeah, I mean, the resurgence of the band going on a few years now is really been awesome to see. And I mean, look, I'll say I'm a huge fan and have been a huge fan for 30 some odd years at this point. I mean, going back
Mhm.
a ways, and I'm just so happy that you guys are still around, still kicking ass. And I want to talk about the new record,
Sure.
Digital Noise Alliance, which comes out October 7th. Um, you know, well, the last time I spoke to you, you had put out the self-titled album, I think, with Todd
Mhm.
singing, and three since then. Everyone has been great. Personally, I think this is the best one, at least with Todd, and maybe that you've done in a really long time. I mean, everything about it, every song is kick-ass. The production, the whole thing. You have to be excited about getting this out at this point after the pandemic and everything. What's your
Yeah,
take and
and
feeling
and
on it?
it's you're not the only one to say that. I mean, of all the interviews I've been doing, I mean, everybody's kind of really connecting with Digital Noise Alliance. And I think that the way we recorded it is something that is different than the last three,
Hmm.
and I think it's connecting with people more. Um, this was recorded uh, spontaneously on the spot in a room with all the guys.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that because that doesn't happen
So it's
anymore. So
it's
that, yeah,
it's kind of a throwback to the early 80s when we used to be in a room and everybody would be there showing everybody their ideas, their guitar riffs, their
yeah,
lyrics, their drum part, everything. And this is kind of a sense like that. The past albums, it was all about emailing songs.
right.
And, it's like, okay, you got to connect in your internet, your internet mail. You got to connect the song. Sometimes it's too big, right? They won't let you email it. And then you email it, and then you don't know when the other guy got your email, and you don't know when he's going to listen to your idea and then to respond on it. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a month,
Right.
right?
Yeah, get it.
And
Yeah.
so technology is cool in that sense. We don't have to be in a room, but it's slower and it's not, as conducive and effective as, improvising and seeing, what's thrown at the canvas and what sticks and what doesn't stick. Basically, I would come into the studio with an idea in my head. And our producer Zeus, I'd say, Zeus, hit the record button. I got an idea. So I'd start recording a riff. And in the studio, we had an electronic drum kit. So Casey Grillo was there and all the guys were there. But Zeus would say, okay, Casey, put a drum beat to this riff. And then, we'd build on that idea until, another idea would come up, and then we'd start the next one. So you'd be, cataloging maybe 4 or 5 ideas a day
Right.
versus, emailing somebody and not sure if they're going to get it.
You know what? There's nothing like that. I mean, even completely sort of different, but I can relate it to what we do with the podcast and stuff because we like to try and come up with some different ideas, and I have a team of people that we work with.
Mhm.
And the best way we find to come up with ideas, we can't be in the same room always, but at least if we're all on a call talking about it and you're bouncing off ideas off each other and it sparks something, right?
Exactly.
You can't do that in an email.
No, you can't. And it's like think tank sessions, and everybody's got their A game, right? They want to, throw their ideas that would best help to build a song.
Yeah.
And it's happening, at that time and moment, not, a month later. And it's for that, I think, the energy in the songwriting is very organic and it's very improvised. And I think, people are going to connect to that. They're going to hear that. They're going to hear elements of the past in the guitar area, because I mean, let's face it, I'm there from the beginning. My roots are there. I respect our roots in the past. And, I will spawn and seep, guitar riffs that people translate to Queensrÿche music. So it's for the people that kind of are ingrained in the legacy albums of the past. I mean, they may, hear that in this album. And and there's a lot that goes into that, but it's, generally I think um, just the spontaneity people are going to grasp to.
Yeah. One of the things that I think separates you guys also is that you've continued to make music. I mean, that's also, bands have been around like you guys have for a long time. Some altogether stopped making albums because they say, what's the point? Or some maybe take 10, 15 years between records.
Mhm.
You guys have constantly been making records every 2, 3 years or so. What keeps that drive for you guys to still want to create?
Well, you have adverse conditions in the music industry right now, and it's constantly evolving. And the pandemic kind of decimated the industry for a while. And I think it's to keep your business going. I mean, this is the other side of the industry that people don't really hear about, is all the business dealings. And how can you make ends meet? Are we just touring or being paid to travel and play for free? Are we
Right.
uh, um, so I think there's just that drive that we have. And let's face it, we have an amazing loyal fan base. And in this day and age, I mean, they're hungry for entertainment and they're hungry to go out and support music. So I think, for us, there's the business side. We got to make it work for everybody, but also um, the way that you promote your music is touring. So you got to
Right.
figure it out.
You did a tour recently with was it with the Scorpions, or now you're with Judas Priest, or recently was with Judas Priest?
Yeah, we were recently out of the pandemic. We were fortunate enough to jump on the Judas Priest tour, and now they've asked us back in October. We got an 8 week tour with Judas Priest as well.
Oh, that's cool. Is that North America still?
Yeah, it's North America. Um, I believe they're finishing their obligations, and so yeah, we're happy to be along for that. I mean, we work together great. And you know, I was listening to Judas Priest when I was a teenager.
Right.
It's a great feeling to be around those guys.
One of the things doing this, get it's very fortunate to get music in advance to get to listen to it. For things like doing this interview and stuff. And I I had the album and I just put it on my headphones while I was doing some work around the house and just sort of kind of take it all in while I'm doing some stuff.
Mhm.
And the song Forest came on, and I honest like for a minute I thought it was a different album, like a different band came on or something. I was because it sounded so unique for the sound of the band, and Todd sounds so amazing on it. And it's like it's one of my favorite songs on the record. Talk about putting that song together a little bit because I was like, this isn't the same album. It just sort of was like it stuck out so amazingly well. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, Forest was just an easy riff that I had that was laying around. Um, it's a very simple song. I think there's 5 chords in the song. Um, and, it was probably the last song that we worked on. And it was something that I had all the parts, and we just kind of had to build it. And this is, everybody was in the studio, and Todd came up with uh, the theme for it and the ideas, and it. We wanted it to be a song that instantly connects with people, and I think it does, and um, and the subject matter to touch people,
Yeah.
and from that premise, it was, Todd, maybe you shouldn't scream in this song. Let's show people your vocal range. Let's show them your lower register, your regular voice.
Yeah, that's probably what sounded so different, in the middle of the record, but it really gave me that those old school kind of like Silent Lucidity vibe, that kind
Hmm.
of thing, and it's a tremendous song.
Yeah, I mean, we built it. We added a mellotron to it, and um, some slide guitar, and just really simple melodies and harmonies, and it's just such a powerful song for
And
such
the
a.
video's great too.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to represent it in that way, and um, the guy that does our videos, did a great job.
The other song that stuck out to me from the beginning, which I always like this when you uh, click with a song and then the band it puts it out as a single, which is Behind the Walls, which was another one that stood out for me right away, like very old school, sounded like Rage for Order or something. And I think that's what you're talking about, that there's that signature guitar that you're known for on there. Talk about that track a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Behind the Walls was one of the first songs that we put down, and as it evolved, we kept embellishing it. And one of the last things that was added to that song was at the end. Mike Stone and I wrote, a kick-ass double solo that, um, that made it on there, and it's it's very reminiscent, riff oriented, like the Rage for Order. It's got some, tiny progressive elements in it, and
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I mean that song is something that when we first put out the video, I mean it immediately, hit with people and connected with people. So we're
Yeah.
we're really, psyched that's making that big of an impact, and it's um, now that the recording's been done a while and we listen to it, that's definitely a song we want to try and recreate live.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna. So that's like another of my questions. When you write this material from album to album, you have so many songs that you have to play, right? All these the classic hits and fan favorites and whatever. When you're doing new songs, is there a goal to try and come up with something that will work live? Also, you want to play something new. Um, some songs you'll never play live. Probably you'll never get a chance to, right? So, how do you balance that, knowing which ones that you want to work on that might be able to make it to the live set?
yeah, I think it's a constant ordeal, picking which songs we're gonna play live. I mean, Queensrÿche has a Chinese menu of songs, and I think a lot of our ideas on set lists is just like, hey, this is new, it's exciting. Let's try and integrate these songs into some of the the staple songs that uh, from the legacy albums that everybody wants to hear. And I think it's just a matter of working them in the set and see how they work, and see how the fans react, and there's see how they flow. Um, so it's going to be a lot of fun putting these integrating these new songs into the set list.
Yeah, I hope to hear some of them. You know, Todd now has been in the band. Is it 10 years or just
10 years, yeah.
just about? Man, I mean, talk about finding him and that working out so well over 10 years. He's just been an amazing addition to the band.
yeah, it's mind blowing how that worked out. It was definitely fate was there, and it's just been a great building block. Um, Writing with Todd, and he's a team player. He's a great singer. He's also a great drummer,
Yeah.
um, and he knows the Queensrÿche sound. He knows, you know, he doesn't write lyrics about fast cars, hot women, and drinking alcohol. So
Right.
he's a team player, and with each album, I think it's we're growing as musicians together, and it's I think it shows on this album.
What are some of your favorite tracks to play live from the from the catalog any at any period? Are there some that you're always happy to play more than others?
um on one tour we played title track "Condition Human," which
Hmm.
is like an 8 or 9
Great
minute
song. Yeah,
song.
yeah.
And that
That's
was
a go to too.
a lot of fun. um yeah, I mean, there's different songs that we've put into the set. Light Years is fun to play. Um, there's just so many, and it's, uh, I think, now that we're in this day and age of discovering music on YouTube, we've put out or we've filmed 7 videos so far for this album.
Really?
And so with each video release, we're getting the response, and those are uh, really surprising factors. And you know when you see people's comments goes, I want to hear this live, I want to see this live, and it's something that you know we just got to see how it works.
It would be cool if you could even do it at just one show, just play the whole record, and it's just that would be awesome, and just record it or something. Um, you know, do you, as a guitarist that's been playing for so long, just curious if you practice still all the time? What's your regimen for keeping your guitar in shape?
I try and pick up the guitar every day if possible. Um, as you get older, you got to stretch more. You got, can't let your fingers get soft.
Right.
It's like, so yeah, it's important to play every day, and even if it's only for like 10 minutes, it's just to connect with the guitar. And um, it's when you're not really thinking about it, these ideas pop in your head, and you start realize you're playing a cool riff, and it's like, quick, where's the computer, or where's the video, or where's the audio recorder? let's let's
Right.
uh let's archive this before I forget it.
Oh, I should tell you that a good friend of mine he recently just got the whole Rage Forward cover tattooed on his forearm. And
That's awesome.
it's incredible. It's like super detailed, bright red, like the whole thing. It's just really killer.
Yeah, I mean, that album made such an impact for us, and to this day, it's a lot of fans' favorite album, just because it was at that time so pushing the envelope and experimental compared to the previous
It's
album.
funny when I listened to it back then, I I definitely liked it, but I didn't get how it ahead of its time it sort of was. But when you listen to it now, it sounds totally current, like to me. It sounds like a record that could have been made now, which
Yeah,
I
and
think is
that's
amazing.
that translates when we play songs from Rage Forward or live. I mean, it's they instantly grab people, and they love hearing songs from that album.
Yeah. Well, man, it's great talking to you. You've given me and my friends and people I know just years and years of just great music. I grew up on those records. I love those records so much, and love the new one. So I'm really happy that you guys put out something so great. And congrats.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate your support, and spreading the word, and supporting live music as well. So uh, we're a machine. We're just rolling. on and on
Awesome.
and on.
All right, man. Keep it
Okay.
going. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All
See
right,
ya.
buddy. Bye.